Hey dreamers, this is Jade. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here to do my wrap up for March as far as my reading. So let's get right into it. I ended up reading 7 books this month. So I'm going to start out by filling in my bookshelf with those books that I've read. First, I get the titles and the authors written down. That is very tiny space for me to get this written down. And then I fill in with the color corresponding on whether it's a physical book, which is the purple, a digital and or ebook, which is the kind of mint green color that you'll see, or an audio book, which is the pink color that I have there. So I did end up reading one audio and I think an ebook. And now I am filling out my book goal. For me, it's 56, but I do have some extra there. I ended up reading, as I said, 7 books this month. So that brings me to a total of 20, if I'm not mistaken. And so I wanted to, as I said, I'm trying to do like this Roy G. Biv kind of thing. So I started off with pink, though pink, red, orange, and then next month will be yellow once I fill it in. And so I am getting down all of the books that I read for the month as far as the icons, and then my favorite book of the month, which was Book Lovers. I actually did the audio format of that. Really enjoyed it. And so that will be my favorite. That's going in the book battle for March. And then moving along, I am filling out my reading log, which basically consists of the author, the title, how many pages I read, or minutes or hours that I listened to an audiobook, the date I started, the date finished, and the format, of course, and whatever genre it is. Not a big fan of filling out genres, as I said, because one book could like touch into so many different genres at once, but I just try to whittle it down to the basics and put that in and then keep it moving or whatever. So yeah, just getting all of that filled in. As I said, I end up coming down to 20. My last book of the month was The Match by Harlan Coben. It was a 5 star, chef's kiss. Loved it. But I really enjoy Harlan Coben, the series that he puts out on Netflix. The adaptations so good, and it's because of those adaptations that I've actually started reading his books. And so far, everyone I've read, I've enjoyed it. I did have a DNF, which was the subtweet by Vivek Shreya. This book, it just was not for me. I think I DNF'd it around like 50 pages or so. The main characters, I just didn't like them. Especially, I think I can't even remember the girl's name, but the one that it starts out with, the other one I kind of was like iffy about, and I was like, well, she might get better. But the first one, I just did not like her at all. She seemed stuck up and pretentious and classist and elitist, and I just couldn't. I didn't have it to do, so I had to leave that alone. And so now I am down to and filling out my March stats page. And I decided again to use the stencil that I printed out to do March stats, and I just put MAR. Although the C and the H would have fit on that page there, but I know I'm going to come to the point where it's not going to fit. And so I think I just, yeah, because in February I just put FEB. So that's probably the theme I'm going to go with if I continue using the stencil here that I printed out. And then, of course, on the other side, I do my books read so I can get my icons out for the month of March. I think that is probably one of my favorite parts, seeing all the books in picture format on that side of the page. And so I'm going to fill in because, March and what is the St. Patrick's Day. I was like, what is the holiday in March? St. Patrick's Day. So I just decided to use green, especially since on my March calendar, which I actually didn't show you it filled out. So maybe next time when I'm getting into April, because I set up my April calendar for the month, but I'll show you what it looks like once it's filled out. I mean, it's very basic. I just do start and finish of books and write in what book or whatever. So but it's I like seeing it with the colors and stuff all filled out and the names of the books that I have on there. So maybe you would like it as well. Anyway, filling out the books read, I just decided to use like this peachy pink color as a complement to that green to fill in books read, and then I will take my green marker again and make a little box. I wish I had made it just a little bit taller so I could fit in everything at a reasonable size. So I had to go a little smaller on my actual stats, which is fine. I mean, I finagled it out. I made it work. I just know for next month to go a little taller if I do another box. So my total books read, as I said, was 7. The total pages that I read was 2,197, and the total hours I listened to a book was 11 hours and 23 minutes for the month of March. That was Book Lovers. Absolutely loved it. It had me smiling from ear to ear just listening to it, and yeah, it's just really good. And I've decided to mark out my longest and shortest books read. I forgot to print out an extra icon for the shortest book that I've read, so I'm just gonna go back in some other time and fill that in later. But I'll let you know what it is. The longest book that I read for the month of March was Dust and Decay by Jonathan Mayberry. This is the second in the Rotten Ruin series. Um, I actually, it wasn't looking good for this book, but it came back with a vengeance at the end. So I'd say maybe like the last 25% of this book really shoved it up there for me. And it was honestly, it's basically Rotten Ruin on steroids. Really, that's basically what it is. But it was really good. Unfortunately, my favorite character. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just say this because these books have been out since 2010. So if you hadn't read it by now, I don't know what to tell you. But my favorite character ends up passing away, and I really didn't know what to look forward to in the third book because he was my favorite. He is my favorite point of view. So yeah, and I was actually disappointed in the third book. But you won't find out more about that until April. Anyway, and my shortest book was Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. I think that was like 235 pages. And so total audio was one book, total digital was one book, total physical was 5, and one DNF for the month. And now I'm getting my bookshelf or books read out. Um, Dust and Decay first. That ended up being 4.5 stars for me. The Last Kingdom, love it. It pretty much follows the series. That was a 4-star book. Book Lovers, of course, I said was 5. 7 Days in June, a little disappointing for my expectations, but it is what it is. I get rated a 3. Same thing with Only for the Week. My expectations were high, and it just did not meet those expectations. But the drama and her friend kept me reading. So yeah, J.R. Ward Crave gave it 4 stars. That's probably more a 3.5 because I didn't enjoy this book as much as the first one that I read, and I gave that one I think 4. Anyway, and then Harlan Coben, The Match, which was 5, revisiting Wild and his whole storyline and getting more from him and actually finding out his backstory, where he's from, the whole mystery behind how he ended up in the woods and was living on his own, kind of like this feral boy. So that was good to get into. Really enjoyed that. Just getting some extra decorations down to kind of fill in those white spaces there. Excuse me if I'm tapping the thing here. My face is itching. So that washi tape is from Allie Brown. I don't know if she still sells it or whatever, but you could always check her Etsy shop. Use those clovers again, and now I'm getting my April calendar set up, and so basically that's basically what I'm doing here. Getting set up for April. I already have a few things filled out. I've been doing pretty good in April so far. I had actually started. So what I realized with Spotify, because that's where I listen to Book Lovers at, but I had actually started a book called A Princess in Theory by Alyssa Cole after I had finished Book Lovers. But Spotify only gives you a certain amount of hours that you can listen to an audiobook with your subscription per month. And I think it's like 22 hours or something. So after having listened to Book Lovers for like 11 and something, I got to listen to A Princess in Theory for like maybe 11 hours or whatever, and then I could not listen to the rest of it until the next month because my hours were out. Now I could have bought more minutes, but I was not paying a whole nother subscription's worth just to finish it when I knew it would renew the next month. So I ended up finishing that like the second or third day, maybe even, let's see, I finished it on April 4th. So there you go. But I started it way back in March. After I finished Book Lovers, I kind of jumped right into another audiobook because I really enjoyed it so much. But that was really good too. But anyway, moving on, as I said, getting my calendar filled out. I start with the shell. I usually do it in pencil first because I have been known to make mistakes. And I'm going to make a mistake even with this pen, even doing it in pencil now that I'm going to have to white out because I added an extra day, which it does not need. I added Wednesday back in and at the bottom, I mean, and there's no 31st for this month, so that was unnecessary. And so I'm just getting all of that done, and then I will decorate around it with. I got this new, I called it a pet tape. I think most people called it a PET tape, but I don't know if I'm going to take the time to say that every time. So, yeah, I ordered a pet tape from Eastar Case, and it's just kind of like these mystical, magical books, bookshelves, and like envelopes and etc. And decided that I would use that for April, simply because I'm kind of going with okay, adjacent. I'm going with the April showers theme. So when I fill in April, which I will use the stencil again, I color it with a blue. See, here comes the white out there. I colored in with a blue Tombow marker, just kind of to indicate rain. Um, and so I kind of decorate with blue elements and stuff like that. As I said, rain adjacent. I don't have like an actual rain theme going on here because I don't have any like April showers, stickers, or anything like that in my stash. Although I have seen several nice ones that they have out there. But I decided against purchasing that and just use what I had in my stash already. Here I am filling in the April with a blue Tombow marker. As I said, you all know that anything that I use in the making of the spreads, if I can find the link, it will be below. Those clovers I actually made in the AI generator, so I can't give you a link to those or whatever. But I'm going to put down some blue washi first, and then just kind of add a couple of those PET tape. See, I said it anyway. Those pet tape stickers, and that pretty much does it. I keep it nice and simple, ready to go. And here is just a quick flip of everything that I did for this wrap up. If you have any comments or questions about anything, please leave those below. I trust that you all have been safe and well. If you enjoy this content, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. And I will catch you all in the next video. Bye.